Welcome to the First and 30 podcast. This is episode 85. I'm your host, Antonino, and this week we're keeping the chains moving with yet another faithful fanatic. Folks, I have a guy with us I've seen personally run a sub 40-yard dash time at Raymond James stadiums. He can be found streaking in the streets screaming hail after a Commanders win. That's right, I have ultimate ball knower all the way from Nevada. I got Commanders fanatic Scott in the house. Scott, welcome into the studio.
Thank you for the intro, Antonino. Episode 85. People might think of the 85 Bears when you think of football in 85, but I think of number 85 for the old Washington Redskins, Leonard Hankerson. Look him up. There you go.
Oh, dropping knowledge right off the bat. I'll have to do some Google searching there. It's a dead giveaway here. Scott is the biggest Commanders fan I know. It was just a short year ago. We were watching the game. They won to get to the NFC Conference Championship. I saw the tears in your eyes of joy.
Yeah.
My, how we've come so far. Tell me a little bit. How'd you become a fan and how are you feeling right now?
Antonino, I thought you were going to start with the game that we saw together, the Bengals Commanders game, Monday Night Football, the Jaden Daniels, welcome to the NFL moment, the bomb to Terry to win it. Okay, but we can talk about that one later. I am from the DC area. I'm not quite 30 yet. I'm turning a spry 29 on January 31st here. I'm a lifelong Redskin fan because my family, we used to have season tickets to the Redskins. I've been to countless games at FedEx Field. Good riddance, get us to the new stadium that'll be within the DC boundaries. And lifelong Skins fan. In Jaden, we trust.
Oh, man, I wasn't expecting the Bengals shade. What was I thinking? You know what? Let's end this recording. Not just All right. So here we go. We're doing it a little bit different this week. Lately, the past couple of months, I've had teams and fans on the show from their respective teams that are in the playoffs or in the playoff race. But today, I needed an unbiased opinion. We've had some controversy and some uncontroversial things that may have happened this past weekend. So I needed someone a little unbiased. But before we dig in here, we have a ton of new listeners. The past 2 weeks, we've shattered listening and viewership records. I want to shout out everyone listening on Apple, Spotify, and at F30 Pod on YouTube. If you don't know now, this is a safe place for any faithful fanatic from any team to go on 4 no-huddle downs in 30 minutes or less. Scott, are you ready to jump in? Should we go for it?
Let's jump in. No huddle. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. First down, we're going to talk about one of the best games of the weekend, the Buffalo Bills blunder in Denver, falling 33-30 in overtime. Shout out to my guest from last week, Nevin. His Broncos got after it. They got the win as he predicted. He talked a lot of trash. He said Buffalo was only known for ranch, blue cheese, and chicken wings. It got kind of ugly for a second, but they got the job done. As we all know by now, the win came in overtime. Another devastating loss for the Buffalo Bills. But there was one play in particular, Scott. There was one play. I think it was a long pass, fourth quarter. Was it a catch? I got to know right here, right now. Scott, was that pass to Brandon Cooks that could have sealed the game? Was that a catch?
Unfortunately, when you do go by the letter of the law, by the NFL rulebook, it was, in fact, not the catch to Brandon Cooks. He never had the possession. The other DB did have a hand on the ball and came away with it at the very end. It's really not so much a controversy, in my opinion, about the catch, but this is more an indictment on the team building of the Buffalo Bills. If you have a guy like Stephon Diggs in that position, there's no way he's letting some McMillan rip it from him. Stephon Diggs is a dog. He is going to hold on to that thing in that moment. You know, you got Brandon Cooks. I'm a big Brandon Cooks fan. He is a great wide receiver. You know, he's been on a lot of great teams, but he is past his prime, and he is not the guy you want in that position to make that kind of play. It's a real unfortunate situation. We all love Josh Allen. We're all heartbroken for Harry and his Buffalo Bills. But yeah, unfortunately, the call on the field was the right call, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're hearing a lot of it from both times. And I'm going to say right now, people have to get out of their feelings right here. I know. I was cheering for the Bills. I was at the bar with Harry, with Steve at
Mm.
Maloney's, hardcore
Oh,
Bills fans. I feel so bad. But let's take our feelings out of it for a second. Like you said, they have to survive the contact with the ground. Yes, a tie goes to the receiver. We all know that by now, but you have to survive the ground contact, and he didn't. Remember that
right.
Des Bryant catch against the Packers in the playoffs a long time ago? Caught it, reached for the end zone, incomplete. The Calvin Johnson touchdown rule: catch a touchdown, he drops it. Folks, you got to survive the ground. And like my boy Joe Burrow said on Twitter, posted for the first time in 2 years, it wasn't even a debate. The calls were right on the field.
There's much more controversy, in my opinion, about the other pass interference calls. I think that were earlier in the OT period and earlier in the fourth quarter. Those are really where the Bills need to be pounding their chest, saying, "We got screwed out of this one. We got screwed out of this one." Unfortunately, the big game breaker in OT, the interception, it was right on the field. But a lot of people are comparing Josh Allen to a modern day John Elway, a great quarterback who's never able to get over the hump and win that Super Bowl up until the very end. We all hope. I don't think that Elway comp is right. I think he's more like a modern day Alex Ovechkin. When Alex Ovechkin was on the Caps and trying to gun for a Stanley Cup, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins were always in the way. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are always in the way of Josh Allen. And it seems like you can never get the right nucleus around him. At least John Elway was able to get to some Super Bowls beforehand. Josh hasn't been there yet.
Man,
It's just not here yet. So I think that it's going to come eventually. But my heart, because I'm a big DC sports fan, really goes out to all the Bills fans out there. It gets better.
he will never beat the allegations, the overrated allegations. That's 8 straight playoff exits, folks. Heartbreak, heartbreak, heartbreak. And now finally, there was no Mahomes, there was no Jackson, there was no
Right.
Burrow. This was his chance. He still couldn't do it. How much help does the guy need? They even changed the overtime rules, technically, quote unquote, for him after that Chiefs game. This guy, 0 for 7 in overtime. He only has 3 points on all those games combined. He's had the ball to win it in 6 of them. The guy just can't play in overtime. How much help does he need? How much? James Cook, the best running back, some would say in the league this year, went 24 for 117 yards in that game. I mean, the offensive line did great this year. Pass defense
Hmm.
did great. Yeah, you'd like to see the refs be consistent. I agree with you.
Hmm.
But there's another play people are not talking about, and that's before halftime. The guy with 12 seconds left scrambles around. He's
Right.
holding this football like a rotisserie chicken, loses the thing, and the Broncos get 3 points right before half. So, yes, you feel bad for Josh Allen. And he said after the game, I feel like I let my team down. Hey, Josh, you did. The turnovers, the interception at the end. I hate to say it, but I think he let the team down.
I hate this is a team game. There's 11 folks on offense, there's 11 folks on defense, there's 11 folks on special teams. It's tough to always pin it on one guy. Yes, you can't turn the ball over. This is a playoff game. Possessions are crucial, but it still is a team game. If I had to pin anything on the defense, again, this goes back to the roster building, the decisions that they've made to put this team together. Why is this defense not better with all the capital that's been there? I've been a big Ed Oliver fan. I think he's a great defensive tackle. Who are the players around them? Gregory Rousseau is really nice. Off the top of my head, I really can't think of other Bills players that jump to mind. And if it would be really awesome if Josh had a Bronco-like defense on the other side that could have his back in the moment that he does make some mistakes. Because if he is going to be Superman, you got to realize that he might put the ball in harm's way here and there while trying to make some magic because it's all on his shoulders. He doesn't have a good
Yep.
wide receiver core to throw to. Is Dalton
Yep.
Kincaid the best receiving option on the Bills? Maybe. James Cook is a great rushing option, but is he the number one by and far best running back in the league? I don't think so. When you got Josh Allen on the field, he knows that it's all on him. And when you put that
Yep.
pressure on him, he's going to try to possibly do too much and make mistakes. This is why you need a defense to help him. This is why it always takes 11. It's a team game.
Feel bad for Josh Allen. He missed Dawson Knox wide open there. I think it was either
Yeah.
in overtime or the end of the fourth quarter. Missed Dawson Knox wide open. Could have ended the game right then and there at the end of the fourth quarter. But this all leads me to say this: Josh Allen got Coach McDermott fired. He got him
Yeah.
fired. They've made a playoff all these times in a row. He got fired. On the other side of things, Bo Nix got injured. The Broncos going with Jarrett Stidham. Oh boy, Broncos, they won the battle, but I think they might have lost the war. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, unfortunately, listen, I used to play high school football. I've broken my ankle playing high school football, and then I played more games after that with a broken ankle in high school football. Unfortunately, this is the NFL, and Bo Nix cannot suit up in the next game with a broken ankle. If he could play 2 more games, if they would let him, I guarantee he would want to do it. But I honestly have some faith in Jarrett Stidham. Sean Payton is a great coach, obviously an offensive mastermind, a guru, probably one of the best offensive minds this game has ever seen. I think that Jarrett Stidham's been in the system long enough. He's a pro. He's been in the league. He's not a rook. They can do enough. I think that they have some good weapons around them. I think Cortland Sutton's a good piece. They might get J.K. Dobbins back this week, and if they get that's a huge add to their rushing game. So I think that they do have enough pieces to be competent on offense, and then put the game in the defense's hands. Pat Surtain, go get us one. Go show us that you're the best player out there.
Well, we got more to dig into here. I'm fired up. You're fired up. This team, the Broncos, have to play someone else. Let's take this to second down. On the other side of the AFC race here, it's the Patriots and Texans. And this game got ugly. And I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about CJ Stroud laying a dud. The Patriots take down the Texans 28-16. CJ Stroud, he might be an undercover agent. 4 interceptions, 20 for 47. I think he could have just won the game if he ran the ball every play with the running back. What are your thoughts right off the bat? Patriots taking down the Texans.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You're not going to win. It's hard to win in the NFL if you have 4 turnovers. And guess what? It really could have been a lot worse. I think he had a few other fumbles or some other close calls. It could have been 5 picks. It could have been 5, 6 turnovers, and you're just not winning any games in that situation.
That's the theme, right? No, turnovers. Yeah. Buffalo. Now this game, turnovers.
Yes. So I'm not high on the Patriots, considering a lot of the teams that they've beaten. I think that they have some empty calories, and we might get to that in a second. But overall, CJ Stroud, you got to be better than that. I know you're on the road. I know it's cold out. I know it's snowing. But I mean, you're a quarterback from Ohio State. Is this guy not used to playing in the cold? Of course he is. I definitely expected more. I think CJ Stroud is better than what we have seen. But if you're the Houston Texans and you have this elite defense that could be one of the best defenses of all time, if we really put it together, you don't need CJ Stroud to go out there and ball out and win you a game. You kind of need him to be a game manager. You need him to protect the ball, pass it off to, or hand it off to Woody Marks. I know Nico Collins wasn't out there, but get it to Noel, I think, is the rookie receiver. You don't have to make some magic. You don't have to put the ball in harm's way like that. Go ahead.
Can't agree with you more. All he had to do was be a game manager. The defense got an interception. They were able to go 10-7 in the second quarter. All you have to do, not turn the ball over, be a game manager. He couldn't do that. They became predictable on offense. They ran the ball 14 times with Woody Marks for 17 yards. Every first down was like the same running play. You hate to see it, especially Texans will get a pick 6 later. I feel like they really kept them in the game. But what are we thinking here on the other side? Drake May, he didn't have to do anything crazy. He was the game manager, right? 16 for 27, 179 yards, 3 TDs, 1 INT. He had a wake-up call in the beginning, but he evened out. He had a strip sack. He had 1 pick himself, but he evened out. Is Drake May the future dynasty quarterback of these Patriots?
I mean, if they surround him with a lot of great talent and they play some other teams that turn the ball over a ton, yeah, I could see Drake May getting in there and leading them to a bunch of victories, into a bunch of Super Bowls. In a vacuum, though, I'm personally not high on Drake May. I haven't seen him play at a high level. He certainly had some great games, but I owe a lot of it to maybe the scheme around him or maybe some of the players around him. I haven't necessarily seen him be a magic man like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson and put the team on his back to really win one. I mean, guess what else is new? This is the Patriot way. It's get in there and do your job. It doesn't matter if Bill and Tom aren't there. By hook or by crook, they're just going to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And of course, we have the Patriots back in the AFC Championship game. And of course, they can't take, a solid 10 years in between successful stints like the rest of us.
Oh man, you see, Coach Vrabel, they pick up a coach, and just like that, such a quick turnaround. I feel like that's why you're seeing a lot of these coaches with a short leash. Even coaches like Harbaugh and Tomlin getting
Hmm.
fired, McDermott now fired. The two coaches left from 2022, Andy Reid and the Bengals, Zach Taylor. That's it from the
Wow.
AFC. Only those two coaches from 2022 stand. Crazy to think about, but now you can really catch fire in a pan, a spark in the
Yeah.
pan, and get your team right back to where it wants to be. So let's do a little quick preview. The Patriots are traveling to Mile High Stadium, the aforementioned Stidham, Jarrett Stidham. What are we thinking? Patriots favored by 5.5 points over under 42. Where are you putting your money?
So my heart is with Jarrett Stidham. I actually went to an Auburn 2018 game, and I saw Jarrett Stidham in college. I'm a bit of a believer.
What?
You know, I think that he can be a game manager with a great defense at home in a tough environment like Mile High, and take on this Drake May that can have some turnovers, that can not play at a great level at times. I would put my final score. It's going to be a close one. I think I have it written down here for. I do think the Patriots win. My heart is with Jarrett Stidham.
I
I looked
saw
down
that
at my
coming.
notes. I'm
I
like,
saw
wait.
that coming.
The brain is going the other way. I am going Patriots. I'm going Patriots win 16-13. I think that's going to hit the
Oh,
under. I forget what the spread was, 4.5, one way or the other. I'm in
five and a
Vegas. I don't
half.
really
Yep.
do a lot of gambling, believe it or not. So
Oh man, no, the Patriots. Come on, folks. I'm rooting for Jarrett Stidham. 1 for 3 as a starter, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I just don't think there's enough experience there in a big stage like this. Home field will help. It won't help that much. Patriots, two-headed monster in the backfield. May managing the game. I got the Patriots 24-10. There you have it. All right. Well, we're halfway through here. Let's move this to third down and take a look at the NFC side of the house. We had some highly entertaining games there. One that rivaled the Bills game. And yup, we're going to talk about the Bears and how they put up another valiant effort, almost pulled out some magic yet again with Caleb Williams, the Icebox Williams, whatever, Iceman Williams, whatever his nickname is now. They fall 20-17 in overtime, sloppy conditions all over the place. What is your key takeaway here? And I know we were talking before the show. Caleb Williams, 4th and 4, that throw, the back of the end zone, unbelievable, right?
he can't keep getting away with it, but he can because he's Caleb Williams. I
That's
know they're
right.
calling him the Magic Man. I know they're calling him the Ice Man. I think if you combine them, that's the Magic Ice Man. I think Ice Magic or Magic Ice, that might be a drug term though, so I don't think that that's a thing. Forget that I said that. But you know, my heart goes out to my friend who's a Bears fan, Marcus, my guy. What a heartbreaker for the city of Chicago. But I have good news for all the Bear fans. You got one. Caleb Williams is him. If he's got the ball in the fourth quarter and it's a one-score game, the entire NFL is on notice now. This guy can and will kill you in the most incredible and ridiculous ways. That, I mean, the 1 foot pass. I'm going to go back to the Packers game. The 1 foot
Yep.
backhand or back fading pass over like the defenders. That's insane.
Oh
You know,
my.
this one.
Fourth down
I mean, this
season
is
on the
Madden.
line.
This is Madden. This is what you do if
Yep.
you're. The blitz comes at you. You run back 20 yards and then you just throw it at the end zone.
Yep.
You don't even do that in Madden. You don't even complete
Yep.
that. How does Caleb Williams complete this in real life? This guy's like that.
Yep.
It's really a testament to his preparation and his skill set. He really does have ice in his veins. A lot of players have said like he likes it when the game's on his shoulders. Some guys are just like that. It didn't happen for Chicago this year. It was a really close one, but they are on alert. They are here and they're going to stay. Real
You
quick,
know,
I just want to break down the Caleb versus Stafford. I don't know if you saw the passing
yep.
stats between the two. It's almost identical.
Nope.
42 attempts each. Caleb had 23 completions to Stafford's 20. Caleb had 257 yards to 258, almost completely identical. When it comes to their passing performance, Stafford, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, game manager when he needed to be.
Mhm.
Caleb, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Turning the ball over. I know we saw the 2 to Kobe Durant, the 1 to Cam Curl. Shout out Redskin, Commander legend, Cam Curl. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs. And,
All right.
is what it is. Go ahead.
I'm going going to play devil's advocate here because,
All right, let's
I
hear it.
like being the bad guy every now and then. All right, come on. Let's talk about the Iceman. The Iceman. Come on, get out of here. The playoffs. You want to talk about stats? The playoffs. He was 41 for 85 in the playoffs. We're talking sub 50% here. 402 passing yards, 2 TDs, 5 interceptions, QBR 51. So don't get me wrong. I was a little hesitant at the beginning of the year. I am a believer now. I do think he has talent, raw talent, playmaking talent, but you'd like to see him clean it up. Ben Johnson, mastermind coach. I think you get another year, a whole off season together. I think he's going to come out in a great place. DMV native Caleb Williams out of Gonzaga High School. Represent all of us, DMV native, right?
Yeah.
So I'm cheering for him. But on this night, the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, game manager Stafford did what he had to do. That's what some other quarterbacks this weekend wish they would have did. And Kyren Williams, 21 rushes, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka did his thing. And at the end of the day, the Rams, as we all expected, right? We were talking about this, the Rams came out on top.
That's awesome that you brought up Kyren like this because this is what I was going to shout out. Unsung praises to Kyren Williams. I don't think people talk about this guy enough. When you think about the Rams offense, you're always thinking about Stafford and Puka and Devontae. Obviously, those 3 guys are great. But anytime those guys stall, it seems like Kyren is always right there, ready to pick it up, ready to give the offense that little spark. If you need 4 yards on 3rd down, he's going to get you 5 or 6. He knows how to lean forward and get the first down. He knows how to make a guy miss. He can catch passes out of the backfield. I mean, this is a 5th rounder from 2022 from Notre Dame kid playing in Chicago here. I mean, he was born for this. He was ready for this. Huge shout out. That Kyren Williams is really underrated in the league.
I couldn't agree with you more. I had the Stafford Kyren Williams combo in fantasy, so I can firsthand tell you they were producing all year long. I know you're a fantasy guru. They were producing. I finished in 2nd place this year. I'm still crying about that, but I digress here. So the Rams did what they had to do, even though I'm going to mention one play. I'm going to put the brakes. Hold on a second. I'm upset. The Bears made that crazy play, 4th and 4, Scott. 4th and 4. They trot out the extra point team. The magic was flowing. The feeling was in the air. Go for 2, right? Am I wrong? They could have put an end to it right there.
I hear you. And I get people thinking like that. But listen, this is a snowy night. The field is slippery. Can you imagine if they try to run some sort of play and somebody slips? You put the entire season on one play on a snowy field and somebody slips. You just had
tush push.
Yeah, I mean, Philly might try to tush push for 4 yards. But even before that, I think a few minutes before, they had the goal line stand down 17-10, needing to tie the game. They have 4 plays, I think, essentially from the 2. They get 2, I think it was 2 rush, 2 pass, maybe I think 3 rush, but they can't get it done. You just saw your offense. These guys, you're not even thinking about this or scheming it. You just saw them 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, try to run this exact play 4 times in a row and they can't do it. I'm not doing it as a head coach. Yeah. So I definitely, I'm on the field goal for that.
But Ben Johnson couldn't find one play to get 2 yards in the biggest game of the year to seal the deal.
Yes. Honestly though, with all the stuff that we're talking about, Caleb Williams with the magic in his hand, you put it in his hands. Like he might scramble, he might score, like he might find somebody. Like I get it. But I think the right thing to do is to put the game into overtime. So
Caleb Williams roll out to the right. Give him an option to run the ball in or do a dump off. Come on, right there. That stadium, I've seen some videos. You get goosebumps. Your hair stands up because that city was ready to win that game. And I'm surprised. It didn't even look like they gave it any thought. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I tell you what, the NFL is better when the Bears are good. When Chicago is relevant, when this team is moving. I mean, what a game. We really have had a treat. Thank you to the 2025 Chicago Bears for all the entertainment. We can't wait for next year.
Whoa, wait a sec. They're moving to the Gary Bears? Isn't that their new name?
The Gary Bears.
Are they moving to Indiana? So I'm glad you said that. You said they're moving. So Gary Bears. There you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on and shift gears one last time. It's 4th and forever, and we always go for it here. The last game of the previous weekend here was a blowout. I don't even know if I want to call it a game. Seattle goes and pulverizes the 49ers 41-6. The injuries finally caught up to the 49ers. McCaffrey had a stinger. Their tight end got hurt out of nowhere. I had a bad beat. I thought 49ers could cover 7 points. They didn't. Straight
Honestly,
off the
me too.
bat, kickoff return. Right. Yeah. Like, what the heck? Division. Like, what are we doing?
The divisional games, when you play a team 3 times, a lot of weird stuff can happen. Also, going into this game, Darnold had the oblique thing. I thought there's a possibility early on he could get hit. All of a sudden, we see Drew Lock in this game with the chance to the NFC Championship on the line versus a Kyle Shanahan with Brock Purdy. Like, there's definitely a scenario where the 49ers win, but unfortunately, they just ran out of gas. They ran out of bodies. Honestly, this one was really over the week prior when they lost George Kittle to the Achilles. That's a really, really, really tough break. And then, when you're in a big game like that with a bunch of juice, getting that opening kickoff to the house, that's almost GG right there. So, tough one.
And man, like you said, again, we're going to beat on this drum, not turning the ball over, game managers. The quarterback, Darnold, hey, 12 for 17, 124 yards. Didn't have to do anything crazy, folks. Got a touchdown. Kenneth Walker shoved that ball down their throat. 19 rushes, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. They did what they had to do. They didn't make mistakes. And I feel for the 49ers. They got to figure out that electromagnetic wave on their practice field.
That's a real thing, 100%.
That is a real thing, folks. Look it up if you haven't. Who's left standing here? You got Seattle playing the Rams. There you have it. NFC Conference Championship. Seattle's favored by 2.5. Who do you got here in this third matchup between these division rivals?
This one's a real toss-up. Both teams are really fantastic. The Seahawks are great at home. I think their defense has a lot of young, twitchy, elite talent. I think the Rams are so well put together. The Rams' real Achilles heel is their special teams. I could see this one being close, and maybe they can't get a kick. They get something blocked, and that's the difference in this. It really can go either way. I can tell you this. I love the Sam Darnold story of resilience, being a bust at the Jets, bad on the Panthers, back up on the 49ers. He finally gets his career going with the Vikings, and then they kick him to the curb for J.J. McCarthy. Ask him how they feel about that decision right now. This guy has been continually shunned away in the NFL, and he's found a way to get himself in this moment. I would love to see the Seahawks win this one. I'd love to see Darnold in the Super Bowl, but I don't think it's going to happen. I do think the Rams win. I do think the Rams win. Yeah. So I think the Rams win. It's definitely a close one. I'll say 28-27. I'll just do a 1-point spread. There you go.
Another thriller, folks. Here you have it. He's predicting a thriller. I think the Rams actually win this kind of handedly. I like the Rams. I think the only reason they were slowed down in Chicago is because of the snow, because of the elements. If the weather's decent and it's not going to be as bad as it was in Chicago, I like to think the Rams 27-14. I think Darnold comes back to earth. But like you, I'm kind of cheering for the Darnold feel-good story.
Oh, yeah.
I got a piece of information for you. Our listener, Jess, Steelers fan Jess, she was on the show a while back. She said this could be a hidden secret. Every time there's a new pope elected, the Seahawks make the Super Bowl. 2005, 2013, and 2025. Maybe this is it. New pope, new Seattle team in the Super Bowl.
I was trying to go all the way back to John Paul II. I'm like, I don't think the Seahawks were around then. This has to be true. So good call out. That's a cool stat.
All right. So based on what you're telling me here, you got the Rams and you got the Patriots. Who the heck is winning it all, Scott? Who's winning the Super Bowl?
So I think this is a great one when you think about it. We get a redemption from the 2001 Super Bowl between the Rams Patriots, the Tom Brady comeback at the very end, and the dynasty begins, all the way to the end in 2018 with the Gronk catch at the very end. That seals the dynasty of like the greatest team, the greatest run ever. I think the Rams get their revenge. I think the Rams win this one. I think Stafford and their team. I'm trying to think of players and schemes, but no, Rams win. We'll just call it. Yeah, 35-17 Rams win over the Patriots.
Oh, blowout in the Super Bowl. All right, folks, put your bets in. You have your ultimate ball knower, Commanders fan, Scott, in the house. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show here, man. I know 30 minutes flies by.
It really does.
I have a feeling we're going to see you again to break down these Commanders in the offseason.
Absolutely.
But I want to give you this opportunity. Do you have any last words for the chain movement?
Well, obviously, we have to shout out the national champion Indiana Hoosiers. Congrats to all the Hoosiers out there for finally getting first one. You're giving us South Carolina Gamecocks some hope that, it could happen one day. If Indiana can do it, then any of us can do it. I also want to shout out all my Falls Church High School football Jaguars out there. Yeah, let's go.
Heck yeah, I love it. Scott, thank you again for coming in here. As always, to all the chain movement listening out there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you got this far. And as always, you know the drill. We'll see you on the next one. The next one is the best one.
Hail the Redskins. Let's go.